Hello everyone. In the next few lecture, we will discuss how phrases are structured in English. In this lecture, we will identify types of phrases and then we will discuss in detail noun phrase. So let's begin our today's lecture. Phrase types. So the first kind is noun phrase. The second one is verb phrase. The third one is adjective phrase. The fourth one is adverb phrase. And the last one is prepositional phrase. So for example, if I say that a peaceful result, you can see that in this phrase, the main word or the head word we have that is result, right? So in every phrase, we will have a main word and rest of elements. So the main word is important, or it is the main word or the head word which forms a phrase. So in the phrase, a peaceful result. So a peaceful result, it is a noun phrase because the main word here we have that is result. Okay, in verb phrase we have must have been dreaming. So here we have the head word or the main word that is dreaming. Even if you remove must have been, still we can call it a verb phrase. And if you remove a peaceful, still only a result is a noun phrase. Okay, similarly that we have adjective phrase. In adjective phrase we have example very pleasant. So in very pleasant we have a main word that is pleasant, not very. Even if you remove very, still pleasant would be called an adjective phrase, right? So the main word in this phrase is pleasant. That's why we call it adjective phrase. The next one we have that is adverb phrase, very carefully. So in very carefully we have a main word or head word. So a head word in this phrase is carefully. Even if you remove very, still we call it an adverb phrase. And the last one we have prepositional phrase. In prepositional phrase we have example in the shade. So what is the main word in the shade? That is in. This preposition in. Even if you remove the shade, still we call it a prepositional phrase. So these are the major types of phrases in English. How we structure we will discuss in detail, but not possible in one lecture. So the focus of this lecture will be noun phrase, right? So in grammar, the technical term phrase is used even if there is only one word, right? So even if we have result, so result is also a noun phrase. Or if we have like just dreaming, so dreaming is also an adverb phrase. Or here we have pleasant is also adverb. So technically in grammar, if we have a single word, right? So according to its part of speech, we call it that this is this kind of phrase. The same thing is discussed here that in grammar, the technical term phrase is used even if there is only one word, the main word alone, right? So what matters that is the main word or the head word. For example, both very pleasant and pleasant are adjective phrases. So pleasant is also adjective phrase and very pleasant is also adjective phrase. So this may seem strange at first since in everyday use the word phrase applies to a sequence of at least two words. You may have learned in school, college or somewhere else that when there is a phrase, so it consists of two or more than two words or at least two words. But technically in grammar, we say that even a single word is also called a phrase, right? So next time, like for example, if you say that a handsome boy, so in a handsome boy, the main word is a boy, right? Or if you say that a boy, so a boy and a handsome boy both are called noun phrase. There is a good reason for the wider use of the term in grammar. Many rules that apply to an adjective phrase apply also to an adjective. For example, the same rules apply to the position of very pleasant and pleasant in these sentences. So it means that the rules which are applied to an adjective phrase are also applied to an adjective when we talk about the position of an adjective. For example, it was a pleasant occasion, or it was a very pleasant occasion. So the rules which are applied to this adjective pleasant, which comes before the noun occasion, it was a pleasant occasion. So the same rules is also applied to this very pleasant, that it was a very pleasant occasion. So a very pleasant is also placed before a noun, and a pleasant is also placed before a noun. Similarly, that the party was pleasant, or the party was very pleasant. So you can see that here we have like adjective or adjective phrase is used as a pre-modifier, and here adjective phrase is used as a post-modifier. So the party was pleasant, or the party was very pleasant. You can see that where we can use an adjective phrase very pleasant, we can also use adjective pleasant. That's why we call pleasant also an adjective phrase and very pleasant also an adjective phrase. I hope you got it. Now, instead of specifying each time adjective phrase or adjective, it is simpler to specify adjective phrase and thereby include adjective, right? So simply that when we specify each time that this is adjective phrase or adjective, we can't say like separately that it is adjective or this is adjective phrase. We can say to adjective also adjective phrase. So it is simpler to specify adjective phrase and thereby include adjective. So whenever we say that adjective phrase, so we include adjective in this adjective phrase. So that's why there's no need to separately say that it is adjective or it is adjective phrase. Now we will discuss in detail noun phrase. The structure of noun phrase. The main word in a noun phrase is a noun or pronoun. So even a pronoun can be a noun phrase, or even a noun, a single word can be a noun. For example, if I say that student, so student is also a noun phrase. Or if I say that a student, so a student is also a noun phrase. Or if I say that many students, so many students is also a noun phrase. Or if I say that she, so she is also a noun phrase. So she, he, they, it are all noun phrases. And students, teachers, chairs, tables, also noun phrases, right? So it depends, okay, that what is the main word in this phrase. If I say that very pleasant, so in very pleasant, the main word is pleasant. Or if I say many students, so the main word is students, not many. So many students is a noun phrase, and just students is also a noun phrase. So the structure of the typical noun phrase may be represented schematically in the following way, where the parentheses indicate elements of structure that may be absent. So you can make them absent, or you can remove determiners, pre-modifiers and post-modifiers. So even that if in a noun phrase determiners are absent, pre-modifiers are absent, post-modifiers are absent, and only a noun is there, still it is called a noun phrase, because noun, it is a main word in a noun phrase. So this is important, right? That you can eliminate, you can remove, or you can make them absent. What? Determiners, pre-modifiers and post-modifiers. But a noun is important because it is a noun which forms a noun phrase. Now, determiners words like the, a, those, some introduce a noun phrase. So these determiners like the, a, these, those or some, they introduce noun phrases. Modifiers are units that are dependent on the main word and can be omitted. So you can omit determiners, you can omit also determiners, you can omit also modifiers, right? But you cannot omit noun from noun phrase. So modifiers that come before the noun are pre-modifiers, and those that come after the noun are post-modifiers. Like for example, here in one example we discuss that very pleasant occasion. So here it is pre-modifier, and very pleasant in the second example, that is post-modifier, because very pleasant here modifies party, and here very pleasant modify occasion, right? Okay, so we were here. Fine. So here are example of possible structure of a noun phrase. So how can we structure a noun phrase? You can see here that we can structure a noun phrase just by mentioning or adding a noun. Like we have books. So books is also a noun phrase, and determiner plus noun, like those books, right? So it's also a noun phrase, and we can add pre-modifier plus noun, new books. So new is a pre-modifier, it comes before the noun. And determiner plus pre-modifier plus noun, some long books. So some it is determiner, and long it is pre-modifier, and books it's a noun. So this is located the man word, this is a man word, this is a man word, this is a man word. And noun plus post modifier, books on astronomy. You can see that astronomy modify what? Books. So that is the post modifier. You can see post modifier. Determiner plus noun plus post modifier. Some books on astronomy. You can see some, it is determiner. It determines the number of books, right? There's some books, and then on astronomy. So astronomy modifies what? Books. Is post modifier. And pre-modifier plus noun plus post modifier. Popular books on astronomy. So popular, it is a pre-modifier, right? Books, that is a noun, and here we have post modifier, that is astronomy. And the last structure is determiner plus pre-modifier plus noun plus post modifier. Some popular books on astronomy. So what is some? It is determiner. And what is popular? It is pre-modifier. What is book? It's a noun. And what is on astronomy? That is post-modifier. So we have these different structures of a noun phrase. So how a noun phrase is structured, this is a detail. So this slide is very, very important. Now all these examples can fit into the blank in this sentence. You can say, I occasionally read books, or I occasionally read new books, or I occasionally read some books, or I occasionally read some books on astronomy, right? Or I occasionally read popular books on astronomy, or I occasionally read some popular books on astronomy. So you can put these all like noun phrases here, right? Now determiner, right? So here we will discuss types of determiners. So there are three classes of determiners, right? So we can have predeterminer, we can have central determiners, and we can have post determiners. You can see all, both, and half. They are predeterminers, right? And here we have like a and the and those. They are central determiners. And here we have post determiners like other, to, and first. So here are two examples with determiners from each class. For example, all these other works. So all is what? Is a predeterminer. And these is what? Central determiners, right? And other is what? That is post determiners. Works is a noun. You can see all these others. Why is called center determiner? Because it comes in the center. Both are two daughters. So that is a predeterminer, that is a central determiner, and this is a post determiner. And these all determiners are used before noun. It's a noun phrase. It's also a noun phrase, and it's also a noun phrase. Now, modifiers. The noun phrase may have more than one pre-modifier or post-modifier, right? A noun phrase may have more than one pre or post-modifier. For example, a long, hot summer is a noun phrase. We have a main word that is summer. And we can see here that we have more than one modifier, long and hot. So long is also modifier and hot is also modifier. Both are pre-modifiers. And acute life-threatening disease. Here we have acute is a pre-modifier and life-threatening is also a pre-modifier. And diseases, it's a noun. So noun phrase. And a nasty gash on his chin which needed medical attention. Here we have more than two post-modifiers, right? One is on his chin. That's a post modifier, modifies what? Gash. And which needed medical attention is also a post modifier. So we have here two post modifiers and one nasty, that is pre modifiers. So there are two post modifiers in the last example in this one, because each separately modifies gash and a nasty gash on his chin. A nasty gash which needed medical attention. So a nasty gash on his chin is what? Post modify. Modify what? Gash. And a nasty gash which needed medical attention, so which needed medical attention modifies also a nasty gash. So the modifiers may itself be modified. So one modifier may modify another one. So a comfortably cool room. You can see that this modifier comfortably modifies cool. And here we have room. We have two modifiers which modify. This modifier modify cool and cool modifies room. Okay? Are the investigation of crimes against children. So children, it's a noun, right? And investigation of crime, right, against the children. It's a pre-modifier. A modifier may also be discontinuous, one part coming before the noun and the other part after it, like the easiest children to teach. Compare with the children is used to teach. So you can break, you can discontinue. The easiest children to teach and the children is used to teach. So you discontinue one part from another one. So thank you so much. It was all about that how phrases are structured in English, and we focus some major types of phrases with example, and then we discuss that what is a phrase, right? A phrase can be a single word or a group of words, but we can identify that this is this type of phrase from the main word or the head word. And then we discuss in detail noun phrase and how a noun phrase is structured. So thank you so much. In the next lecture, we will discuss in detail another kind of phrase. Perhaps we will be discussing verb phrase. So please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Thank you so much.